Good morning, everyone. It's a Tuesday morning. We're approaching the last, almost the last week of May now, and the tornado season so far has been astounding. This is the graph from the Storm Prediction Center that looks at this sort of thing. The trend line of the average here on the annual trends from basically 2005 to 2015 is this black line right here. And we are sitting at 883 tornado reports. So pretty amazing, actually. And, we'll get some more today. And you can see the outbreaks. That's these red areas here, these spikes that go all the way back to the middle of March. There's been quite a few outbreaks here. And so we've had a real astounding season so far. It's not over. Certainly, we have tornadoes will be reported today, and we also have more coming up. I think certainly the end of May and June are prolific severe weather producers. It looks like we'll take a small break after today, but that's no reason to believe that we won't get it back here shortly. It's Tuesday, and we'll look at this huge cyclone in the upper atmosphere spinning away over northern Missouri. And you probably already know where to look for the severe weather. Is anything along this arch here, but in particular where the unstable air is. So that's going to incorporate this area right here. Let's take a look at the HRRR and its idea what the radar will look like over the next 42 hours. Certainly, we have an outbreak of severe weather again here in the Tennessee River Valley, Ohio River Valley, northern Alabama, and Mississippi. In on that, the surface low is going to lift up to around Chicago over the next 2 days, basically. And the severe weather then shifts to the East Coast. And then we take a little bit of a break. It does reoccur in Texas a little bit. We'll show you all those outlooks here in a minute. But let's get to today. So we have an enhanced 3 out of 5 level here through all this area shaded orange. And pretty big outbreak still expected with a large area just expecting severe thunderstorms in general. That would be the green area here that goes almost all the way up to Chicago, almost down to the Gulf Coast, and it goes from Arkansas and Missouri right to the Atlantic. So a large area, and not the highest, and certainly not as high as the last 2 days. But this may be upgraded. As I always say, the day one forecast from the SPC is what you're seeing here after it updates shortly before 8 a.m. CDT. But they do update it late in the morning, again later in the afternoon and in the evening. So be wary if you live out in Tennessee in those areas to see if these updates get upgraded or adjusted a little bit. There is a 10% tornado risk over this exact same area here, and they are thinking that there's at least a mentionable chance that some of those tornadoes will be on the higher end, EF2 to EF5. That's what this hatched area here. So Nashville's included in that. Up into 10 parts of Kentucky and northern Alabama and Mississippi in particular are under the threat for that. If you take a look at the comparison model, looks at analog comparisons, there's a 5% tornado risk a little bit further north than what they're indicating into Illinois, but generally that is in agreement with the current predictions. Strong jet stream, unstable air, pretty much all you need. Now let's take a look at Wednesdays. This entire thing shifts east, and it's the lowest risk level, but it runs from West Virginia through the heart of Virginia and coastal areas of the Carolinas down to around Jacksonville, Florida. If we look at the CSU learning method here, we're looking at a tornado probability of 5%. A little bit on the north side of what I just showed you, and also the accompanying wind, that's hail right there, and then the wind forecast down here is in agreement. Then things settle down quite a bit. Thursday, the only thing we have mentioned is the Red River Valley down into around Abilene, Texas. There is a level 1 out of 5 chance in that area that severe weather will show up. If we look at the SIPS model, it is basically in agreement with that, with a 15% risk of all hazards. CSU probabilities are very much in line with the SPC, and like I said before, I have I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of times these outlooks from CSU match a lot of times what the SPC is in agreement with. It looks like a large hail risk down there, which is understandable. High instability, but wind shear maybe a little weak. Especially for tornadoes. On Friday, we have a high plains, Colorado, eastern Colorado outbreak maximum on Friday. that the other learning curve for Friday has a little bit of that, but they're still keeping the Ohio River Valley and central Oklahoma somewhat active for severe weather. On Saturday, kind of a broad brush forecast in Oklahoma and north and west Texas, which is backed up again by the CSU model. So, there's also room for this to upgrade. I will say that in general, as we watch this shift across the southern high plains, central high plains into Oklahoma, that the jet stream winds are generally weak with this, but the instability has room to grow quite a bit. So, one can make up for the other. So there may be room to upgrade a lot of these as we move forward. And then finally, we'll look at Sunday here. It shifts back as it looks like more stable air builds into the Midwest and Central Plains. And on Sunday, certainly that risk backs up into Texas. I think we even have Monday's outlook. You're getting a trend here. It's kind of wobbling back and forth between these two areas here as the jet stream is encouraging drier, more stable air to move into the plains. So as that adjusts, so does this. And then on Monday, again, kind of a broad brush forecast for Texas for some severe weather. That's kind of far out anyway. So a lot of detail lost there. On the May 20th through 26th supercell composite, it does show a buildup of supercell probabilities again in Texas and in eastern Oklahoma. Again, that's a reflection of the fact that we're looking at 7 days worth of accumulation here. So that's not a specific forecast for any given day. But on the period May 27th through the June 2nd, it does back up into Texas certainly. And then it moves much more to the north, June 3rd through the 9th, which fits with climatology actually quite a bit. You expect the epicenter of severe weather to start moving north in June from Kansas into Nebraska into the Dakotas, and that seems to be taking shape for roughly the first week of June. Thanks for watching today's edition of Severe Thunderstorm Outlooks. This is published every day after the morning Storm Prediction Center update. Also, remember to check that site off on day one because they update it fairly frequently. If you like this video, please like it. Also, you can subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.